So my preceptor has given me excellent advice, which has been endorsed by my subjects, ministers, and all. Mother Kaushalya too has enjoined on me what she has thought fit, and which is certainly wish to carry out with reverence. The advice of one's preceptor, parents, master, and friend ought to be acted upon with a cheerful heart, as conductive to one's good. By pausing pausing to think whether it is right or wrong. One should right or wrong, pausing to it what is right and wrong. One fail and right is wrong. One fails in one's duty and incur a lot of sins. You are surely given me sincere advice, which if follow will do me good. Even though I fully realize this, my heart is not satisfied. Now hear my request and give me advice that may suit me. Forgive me my presumptions in returning an answer to you, for good people reckon not the virtue or fault of the distressed. My father is in heaven, and both Sita and Rama are in wood, whereas you ask me to rule the kingdom. Do you think this will do me good, or you expect some unusual gain to yourself from this arrangement? My good lies in the service of Shri Rama, although I have been deprived of that privilege through my mother's perversity. I have pondered in my heart and realized that my good lies in no other way. Of what account in this kingdom, which is nothing but an abode of sorrow, when the feet of the Lakshmana, Rama, and Sita are no longer to be seen, a lord's jewel is of no use without plots, and inquiry about Brahma, the Absolute, is the little use without dissipation. Abundant enjoyments are of no use to a deceased body. Of little use are japa, muttering of prayers, and yoga, exercise of mind control, without devotion to Sri Hari. A handsome body is of no use without life, and all I have is not without the Lord of Lagu Radu, and all I have is not without the Lord of Raghu. Grant me leave to go where Rama is. My good exclusively lies in this, and if you urge that you seek your own good by crowning me king, you say so only through ignorance caused by affection. It is through infatuation that you expect happiness from the region of the rest like me, who is Caucasians of perverted intellect, hostile to Rama and lost to shame. I tell you the truth, you should all listen and believe what I say. A virtuous man alone should be crowned as king. The moment you install me on the throne, perforce the earth will sink into lowest depth. Who is such an inveterate sinner as I, on whose account Sita and Rama have been exiled into the forest? The king sent Rama into exile and himself ascended to heaven the moment the letter left him. My rest self, which is the root of all evil, is sitting quietly and hears all talk unmoved. Even though I find the palace without Rama, I have survived and endured the world's jeers. Devoid of affection for Sri Rama, who is sacred object of love, my soul is rapacious and hunger for land, dominion, and enjoyment. I have no word to depict the cruelty of my heart that has attained notoriety by surpassing even adamant. An effect is as a rule harder than its cause, and I am not to blame for it. The thunderbolt is more formidable and harder than bone of which it was made, and iron the rock from which it is quarried. Clinging to this body born of kicking, my wretched life is exceedingly unfortunate. When life has been dear to me, even though I have been torn from my beloved brother, I shall have much to see and hear yet. Kaikai has sent Lakshmana, Rama, and Sita into exile and has done a good turn to her husband by dispatching him to the abode of immortals. She has taken widowhood and infamy upon himself and bestowed grief and affection on the people. And to me, she has allotted happiness, good reputation, and a thriving kingdom. And a thriving kingdom. Thriving means grow or develop well or vigorously. Grow and develop well. Thriving kingdom. Grow and develop well. In this way, she has served the interests of all. I cannot expect greater good than this at present. Over and above that, you proclaim your intentions to crown me king, since I have been born into the world through Kakai's womb. This is not at all unbecoming of me. Good God Himself has accomplished everything for me. Why then should you all, as well as people, help my cause? If a man under the evil influence of planets, who is possessed by some evil spirits and is also affected by delirium and has been further stung by scorpion, is given a cup of wine, tell me what kind of treatment is this? Delirium means affected by delirium. Delirium is a disturbed state of mind or consciousness, especially a acute transit condition associated with fever, intoxication, and certain other physical disorder characterized by symptoms such as confusion, disorientation, agitation, and hallucinations. And has further stung by the scorpion is given a cup of wine. Tell me what kind of treatment is this? God in His wisdom has ordained for me everything in this world that is worthy of Kakai's son. He has, however, bestowed on me in vain the honor of being a son of King Dasharatha and a younger brother of Shri Rama. All of you urge me to accept the throne, and the king's command is good for all. How shall I answer all individually? Let everyone gladly say that what one pleases. Bearing me and my vile mother, tell me who will say the right thing has been done. Accepting myself, who is there in this whole animated and inanimated creation that does not love Sita and Rama as one's own life. What is most beneficial appear to you all as a mighty gain. This is my misfortune, and none is of to be blamed for it. You are in the grip of doubt, amiability, and affection, and whatever you all say is right. Sri Rama's mother Kaushalya is most glueless of heart and loves me in a special degree. Finding me in distress, she has said all this under impulse of natural affection. My Guru Vasishta, as all the world know, is an ocean of wisdom. The universe is like a plum in the palm of his hand. Even he is making preparations for my coronations. When fate is adverse, everyone else turns hostile. With the exceptions of Sri Rama and Sita, no one in this world will say the Lord did not have my approval. All this I must hear and endure with a cheerful heart, for wherever there is water, mud must be there eventually. I shudder not to think that the world will call me wild, and I have little anxiety about the other world either. There is one terrible anguish that plugs my heart. Is it that Sita and Rama are suffering hardship on my account? Lakshmana has fully reaped the reward of his existence, discarding everything as he has fixed his mind on Shri Rama's feet. As for myself, I was born for Shri Rama's banishment. In vain do I lament, wretched that I am. Bowing my head to all, I lay open my terrible distress before you. Unless I behold Sri Rama's feet, the agony of my soul shall not go. I find no other remedy. Who, as then the chief of Raghu, can know what passes in my heart? There is only one resolve in my mind. At daybreak, I must proceed to meet the Lord, even though I am vile offender and am at the root of all troubles. Yet when the Lord find me before him in a suppliant my mien, he will forgive all my faults and shower his special grace on me. The Lord of Raghu is an embodiment of amiability, meekness, extreme bluelessness of dispositions, compassion, and love. Sri Rama has never injured even an enemy, to say nothing of me, a mere child, and his servant too, though hostile to him. Therefore, do allow me, all of you, to depart and bless me in an auspicious strain, knowing it to be for my good, so that on hearing my supplication and recognizing me as this his servant, Sri Rama may return to his capital. Though I am born on a weak mother and am myself a rough and ever guilty, I am confident of Rama that he will never forsake me, knowing me for his own. Bharta's words pleased all, imbued as they were with the nectar of devotion to Sri Rama. The people who had been burning with the deadly poison of separation from Sri Rama were roused to their senses on hearing, as it were, a charm against snake poison along with its seed letter. The mother, the minister, the preceptor, and the people of the city all were overwhelmed with emotion. They praised Bharata again and again and said, "Your body is very personification of affection for Sri Rama. It is no wonder that you should say so, dear Bharata, since you are dear to Rama as his own life. The vile men who thought his ignorance hate you because of your mother's perversity. The rest shall abide in hell for the 100 kalpa cycles with millions of his past generation. A gem on the head of the serpent is not affected by the sins and fault of the serpents. On the other hand, it contracts poison and destroys, burns to ashes, sorrow and indigency. Bharata, you have thought out a good plan. By all means, let us proceed to the wood where Sri Rama is. You have held out a helping hand to us all while we were being drowned in the ocean of grief. Everyone felt as great a joy as when the chatka birds and peacock hear a clap of the thunder. When the people came to know Bharata's welcome resolve to start the very next morning, they all began to love him as their own life. After reverencing the sage and bowing their head to Bharata, they all took leave and proceeded to their respective homes, praising as they went his amiability and affection and exclaiming, "Blessed is the Bharata's life in this world." They said to one another, "A great object has been accomplished." Everyone began to make preparation to the journey, whomsoever they left behind, saying, "You should stay behind to guard the house," felt as if he was smitten on the neck. Some were said, "Nobody should be asked to remain behind, who in this world would not have the reward of his life. Parry that property, house, happiness, friend, father, mother, or brother, who does not gladly help one turns one's face towards Sri Rama's feet." In every house they got ready vehicles of the various kinds. Their soul rejoiced at the thought of the starting early next morning On reaching his own apartment, Bharata thought to himself, the cities, horses, elephants, houses, and the treasury, everything belonged to the Lord of Raghu. If I leave it unprotected, the result will not be good for me, for disloyalty is one's master is the greatest of the all, since a servant is he who serves the interest of his master, no matter if anyone brings millions of imputations against him. Pondering thus, he summoned faithful servants who had never dreamt of flinching from their duty, confiding to them all the secrets. He taught them their paramount duty and entrusted them with the work for which they were severally fit. After making all arrangements and posting guards, Bharata went to the Shri Rama's mother Kaushalya. Knowing all the mothers in distress, Bharata, who understood the way of the law, ordered palki to be got ready and sedan chair to be equipped. Much afflicted at heart, like the male and the female Chakrotapars, the man and the woman of the city longed for the dawn. They kept awake the whole night till it was daybreak, when Bharata summoned his wise counselors and said to them, take all that is necessary for the installation ceremony. The sage Vashishta will crown Shri Ramas even in the forest. Start expeditiously. Hearing this, the minister greeted him and had the horse, carrots, and elephant immediately equipped, taking with him his wife Arundhati and the requisites of Agnihotra, offering oblation into the sacred fire. The chief of the Sikh, Vashishta, was the first to mount the chariot and led the way. Host of the Brahmins, who were all repository of austerities and spiritual glow, followed in vehicles of the various kinds. The people of the city followed next, having equipped their own conveyance. They all left for Chitrakuta. All the queens journeyed in palkis with one lovely beyond words. Leaving the city in the charge of the faithful servants and respectfully sending the whole party ahead, the two brothers Bharata and Shatrugana started last of all, remembering the feet of Shri Rama and Sita. Seized with longing for the sight of Shri Rama, all the people, including both man and the woman, headed with the same zeal as male and the female elephant, rushed in pursuit of water, realizing in their heart that Sita and Rama were in the woods. Bharata and his younger brother journeyed on foot. Seeing their affection, the people were overcome with emotion and dismounting, walked on foot, leaving their horses, elephants, and carrots. Going up to Bharata, Shri Rama's mother Kaushalya stopped her palki by his sides and spoke in soft accent. I adjure you by my life to mount the carrot, dear child, or else all our near and dear ones will be put to trouble. If you walk on foot, the whole party will follow suit, and you know that they are all wasted with sorrow and hardly fit to undertake the journey on foot. Reverently obeying her commands and bowing their head at her feet, the two brothers mounted their carrots and proceeded on the journey. They halted the first day on the bank of the Tamsa river and made the next halt on the bank of the Gomti. Some of them lived on milk and some on fruit, while others took their meals by night, renouncing ornaments and luxuries. They observed vows and fast for the sake of the Shri Ramas. Halting on the bank of the Sai river, Sai river, their journey at daybreak, and the whole party drew near to the Shangvirapura. When the Nishada chief Guha heard the whole story, he anxiously thought within himself, what motive can Bharata have in journeying to the woods? He must have some evil design at heart. If he had no mischievous intentions at heart, why should he have brought an army with him? He must have thought that after killing Rama and his younger brother Lakshmana, he would regain peacefully and happily. But Bharata did not take to heart the maxim of sound polity. Laterally, he brought on himself stigma alone, but this time he will meet a sure death. If all the warriors among the gods and the demons combine against Shri Rama, even they will fail to conquer him in a battle. But what wonder that Bharata should behave as he is doing, for Vaminius plants, after all, can never bear fruit of ambrosia. Pondering this, Guha said to his kinsmen, "Be alert, all of you. Collect the boats and sink them, and blockade the ghats, flight of the steps leading to the river leading place. Equip yourself and blockade the ghats. Be prepared in every way to face death. I will encounter Bharta in open combat and will not let him cross the Ganga so long as there is life in me. To die in battle, and that too on the bank of the Ganga, and to lay down this frail body in Shri Rama's cause. Then Bharata is Shri Rama's own brother and a king, while I am humble servant. It is through a great good fortune that one meets with a death like this. In the cause of my master I will fight on the battlefield, and will brighten the 14 spheres with my glory. I am going to lay down my life for the sake of the Shri Rama, the Lord of Raghu, and will be gainer either way. If I win the battle, I will have served the cause of my master, and if I die, I will attain the eternal body of the Lord and his constant service. Shri Ramayana. He who is not reckoned among the virtuous and is neither counted among Shri Rama's devotees live in vain in this world. He is a veritable burden to the earth and an axe to the tree of his mother's youth. Then Shada Chief, who was not the least troubled at heart, encouraged all, and fixing his thought on Shri Rama, forthwith demanded his spear, bow, and coat of mail. Make haste, brethren, to get ready the necessary equipments. On hearing my command, let no one shrink in fear. Very well, my lord. They all joyfully responded and roused the spirit of one another, greeting their chief one after another. Then Shada laughed. They were all brave and loved to fight on the battlefield. Invoking the shoes of the Shri Rama's lotus feet, they fastened their quiver and strung their bow. Nay, they donned their coat of mail, placed the helmet on their head, and straightened their axe, bludgeon, and spears. Some of them, who were exceptionally clever at fencing, sprang with some agility that it seems they never touched the ground and moved in the air, equipping themselves with their weapons, etc., and forming themselves into batches. They all went up to their chief, Guha, and greeted him. Seeing his gallant warrior and finding them all fit for achieve service, he addressed them each by his name and duly honored them. Don't be treacherous, spare not your life. Brethren, there is a great issue before me today. At this, the gallant warriors spiritedly exclaimed, "Have patience, our brave captain. Through the majesty of Shri Rama and by your might, my lord, we shall leave no fighting man or horse in the enemy's rank. We shall never retrace our steps so long as there is life in us. Nay, we shall strew the earth with the trunks and heads of the fallen warriors." Then Shada's chief saw that he had a good band of warriors and exclaimed, "Beat the martial drum." Even as he said so, someone sneezed on the left. The soothsayer said, "The sneeze has come from the auspicious quarter. The issue will be a happy one." An old man threw over the meaning of the omen and exclaimed, "Let us go and meet Bharata. There will be no conflict. Bharata is out of pursuit. Shri Rama, to return the omen, tell us that there will be no discord." On hearing the Guha said, "The old man say right. Fools act perceptively and repent. If we come to clash without knowing Bharata's intention and ascertaining his temper and dispositions, we shall be doing much harm to our own cause. Close up all my warriors and blockade the ghat till I meet Bharata and find out what is in his mind. When I have ascertained his friendly, hostile, or natural attitude, I shall act accordingly after that." I shall test his love on the touchstone of his friendly disposition, for hatred and love cannot be distinguished even if one tries to do so. So saying, he began to collect articles for making a present and sent for bulbs, roots and fruits as well as birds and the deers. Men of the porter class also bought loads of the fat and ripe fish of the patina species. Thus equipping themselves with presents, he proceeded to meet Bharata and met with auspicious and the happy omens. As soon as he saw the chief of the Sikh, Vashishta, he mentioned his own name and protested himself before the Sikh from the distance. The Sikh, who knew him to be the friend of the Shri Ram, bestowed his blessings on him and told Bharata in detail about him. Hearing that he was a friend of Shri Rama's, Bharata alighted from his carriage and leaving it behind, advanced towards him with a heart overflowing with love. Guha, on his part, mentioned his village, caste, and name, and greeted him by placing his head on the ground. And Bharata saw him falling protest on the ground. He lifted him and pressed him to his bosom. He felt as if he had met Lakshmana, and the surging emotion of his heart could not be repressed. Bharata embraced him with great affection, and the people admired the mode of his love. Raising a jubilant cry of applause, the god extolled him and rained flowers on him. The man is low in the eyes of the world as well as from the point of view of the Vedas, so much so that one must bath even on crossing his shadow. Yet Sri Rama's younger brother Bharata has met him in close embrace, his body thrilling all over with joy. Host of sins turns away from them who utter the name of Rama even while yawning. As for him, this man, he was embraced by Sri Ramas himself, who thereby bestowed on him and his family the efficacy of sanctifying the whole world. When the water of the Karmansa joins the celestial stream, the Ganga, tell me who would not place it on his head. The whole world know how Valmiki became a god as Brahma, God himself, by repeating the name Rama in the reverse way. Even a Pari, a Sabara Bhila, a Kashi, the stupid barbarian, and the vile Kola and Kirta get supremely sanctified and get renowned through all the spheres by uttering the name of Rama. It is no wonder it has been so for ages, who has not exalted through contact with the hero of Raghu. In this way, the god glorifies Sri Rama's name, and the people of Ayodhya rejoice as they hear the praises. Having thus met Sri Rama's friends, Guha, Bharata lovingly inquired after his health, welfare, and happiness. Seeing Bharata's amiability and affection on that occasion, the Nishada forget all about himself. His bashfulness, love, and soul delight grew, and he stood gazing at Bharata with unwinking eyes. Collecting himself, he bowed at the Bharata's feet again, and with joined palm lovingly submitted. Now that I have beheld your lotus feet, which are the very fountain of happiness, I have accounted myself blessed for all time. And now, my Lord, by your supreme grace, my welfare is assured for millions of generations. Remembering my doing and my descents on the one hand, and realizing the Lord greatness on the other, he who does not devote himself to the Sri Rama's feet has been befooled in this world by the providence. False, cowardly, evil-minded, and low-born as I am, and cast off from society as well as from the fold of the Vedas in every way, I have become the ornament of the world. Ever since Sri Rama took me for his own, seeing his affection and hearing his humble submissions, Bharata's younger brother Shatrughna embraced him next. The Nishada chief then greeted all the doggers, queens in polite and respectful terms, mentioning his names each time, treating him on the same footing as Lakshmana. They gave him their blessings. May you live happily for the millions of years. The men and the women of the city were as glad to see the Nishada chief as if they saw Lakshmana, and said, he has surely reaped the reward of his existence in that our beloved Rama folded him in his arms. Hearing them extol his good fortune, the Nishada chief led them with a cheerful heart. Receiving a signal from him and learning his master's will, all his attendants dispersed, and in the houses, the foot of trees, ponds, orchards, and groves, they made rooms for the guests to take up their lodgings. When Bharata beheld the town of the Shangvirapura, all his limbs were overpowered with emotion. Leaning on the Nishada chief, he presented a goodly sight. Presented a goodly sight. It appeared good. We ran up a goodly, fairly large, sizable. Goodly sight. Goodly sight. Sight means what do you mean? Sight. Sight means sight. Sight means enjoy to view over. Enjoy to view. Enjoy. Goodly sight. He presented Nishachi, he present. It appears as if meekness and love has taken in a living form. In this way, Bharata with all his army went and saw the stream of the Ganga, which purifies the whole world. He made obeisance to the ghat where Shri Rama had bathed and said his prayers, and his soul was enraptured as if he had met Shri Rama himself. The men and the women of the city bowed low. They were glad to see the divine stream. Taking a dip into the river, they begged with joint palm to be the favored with abundant love for the Shri Rama's feet. Bharata exclaimed, Mother Ganga, your sands are delightful to all, and the very cow of plenty to your devotee. With joint palm, therefore, I ask of your only one boon, that is spontaneous love for the feet of Sita and Shri Rama. In this way, after taking a dip into the Ganga and receiving his Guru's command, and on learning that all his mothers has finished their bath, he had the tents shifted. The people took up their lodgings at different places, and Bharata made inquiries about all. After worshipping the gods and taking leave of them, the two brothers Bharata and Shatrughna went up to Shri Rama's mother Kaushalya. Bharata showed respect to all his mothers by kneading their feet and speaking to each in polite terms. Then, entrusting his brothers with the service of his mothers, he himself summoned the Nishada chief and went hand in hand with him. His body overpowered with excess of love, he asked his friend to show him the spot and thereby soothe the agony of his eye and soul to some extent, where Sita, Shri Rama and Lakshmana had slept at night. Even as he spoke, the corner of his eyes were filled with tears. The Nishada chief was distressed to hear Bharata's words and presently took him to the spot where the chief of Raghuline has rested under a holy Ashoka tree, which great affection and reverence Bharata protested himself there. Beholding a lovely litter of kosha grass, he paced round it clockwise and made obeisance. He also placed the dust of Shri Rama's footprints on his eyes with an excess of love which could not be described in words. He saw there is a few gold spangles which he placed on his head and treated them as a per with Sita. With tears in his eyes and a heart full of remorse, he spoke to his friends in sweet accents. These spangles have lost their charms and appear lusterless due to their separation from Sita, even as the people of the Ayodhya, both man and the woman, are spent through sorrow. To whom shall I liken her father Janka, who in this world is master of ascetics and enjoyment both, and she had to her father-in-law King Dasharatha, the son of the solar rays, who was the envy even of the Lord of Paradise Indra, and her beloved Lord is no other than Lord Shri Rama, from whose glory all great ones derived their greatness. Even as I gaze on the litter used by Sita, the jewel among virtuous women devoted to their Lord, My heart does not break in honor. It is harder than adamant, my God. And my younger brother Lakshmana is so comely and worth fondling. Never was there such a brother, nor is there, nor will be. Beloved of the people and the darling of his parents, he is dear as life to both Sita and the hero of Raghuline. He is so delicate of frame and tender of disposition, and his body has never been exposed to the hot winds. Yet he is bearing hardship of every kind in the woods. Oh, my breast has outdone millions of the thunderbolts. As for Shri Rama, he has illuminated the world by being born in it. He is such a ocean of beauty, amiability, joy, and all excellences. Shri Rama's disposition is the delight of the people of Ayodhya and his own family, much more his preceptor and parents. Even enemy praises Shri Rama, who steals the heart by his polite speech, agreeable manner, and modesty of behavior. Millions of Shardas, goddess of speech, and hundreds of millions of Shesha, serpent gods, are unable to reckon upon the virtue of the Lord. The jewel of the Raghuline, who is bliss personified and mine of joy and blessings, sleeps on the ground, spreading the kusha grass on it. The ways of the providence are inexorable indeed. Shri Rama had never heard any mention of sorrow. The king of our father tended him like the tree of the life. They all the mothers cherished him day and night, even as the eyelid protect the eye or the serpent guard the gem on its head. The same Rama now wandered through the forest on foot, living on bulbs, roots, fruits, and flowers. Accuses Kakai's my mother, the root of evil, who turned hostile to him, her own husband, who was the dearest object of her life, and twice accused is my own wretched self, the ocean of sin and the occasion of all troubles. While God created me as a blot on my family, my wicked mother has made me the enemy of my master. Hearing this, the Nishada chief lovingly comforted him. Why should you lament in vain? Shri Rama is dear to you, and you are dear to Rama. This is a settled fact, and the blame rests with an adverse fate. Cruel indeed are the doing of an adverse fate, which though Mother Kakai made, the Lord reverently praised you again and again that night. There is no one, says Tulsidas, so supremely dear to Shri Rama as you are. I declare this on oath, therefore be assured that all will be well in the end, and take courage in your heart. Shri Rama knows the heart of all. May he is an embodiment of tenderness, affection, and compassion. Considering this and summoning courage in your heart, please go and take rest. Bharata took comfort at the word of his friend and proceeded toward his longing with his thoughts directed towards the hero of Raghu. On receiving this news, the man and the women of the city sailed forth to see the place where Shri Rama had slept one night. Much distressed at heart, pacing round the spot clockwise, they went obeisancy to it and blamed Kakai to their heart content. Tears rushed to their eye again and again, and they reproached cruel fate. Some would praise Bharata's love, while others said the king had vindicated his affection. They would reproach themselves and praise the Nishada chief. Who can describe their confusion and woe? In this way, they all kept vigil overnight, and at daybreak, the passage across the river began. The Guru was put on the board, a good and handsome boat, and all the mothers on another newly built one. Is on an hour and a half. Everyone was taken across. When Bharata had alighted, he made sure that all had come. Having finished the morning duties, Bharata adored his mother's feet and bowed his head to the preceptor, and keeping a party of the Nishada ahead, started the whole host. He made the Nishada chief lead the vein, and then started the palkis, carrying the queen mothers and summoning his younger brother. Shatrugna told him off as their escort.
The Guru proceeded next along with the other Brahmans. He himself then made obeisance to the celestial river, invoked Sita, Rama and Lakshmana and set forth on foot, horse while empty saddle, wise led by the bridle along with him. Again and again his faithful servant said, "Be pleased, sire, to mount your horse. Shri Rama has gone on foot while carrot, elephant and horses are intended for me. What behove me in that I should walk on my head? Most deflicacy for the servant." Seeing his behavior and hearing his polite speech, all his servants melted out a feeling of self-disparagement. Bharata entered the limit of Prayaga, the area surrounding the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna near Allahabad. In the afternoon, overflowing with love, he cried Rama Sita, even as he went. The blister on the sole of his feet glistened like dewdrops on the lotus bud. The whole company was grieved to hear that Bharata had made the day march on foot. After ascertaining that all had finished their ablution, he repaired to the confluence of the Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati and did homage to it. He bathed in white in the dark water with due ceremony and honored the Brahmans, bestowed gifts on them. As he watched the coming of the dark and the white waves, Bharata felt a thrill of joy over his body and he joined his palm in prayer. "You are the bestower of all desired object, O King of the sacred place. Your glory is known to the Vedas and manifest throughout the world, abandoning the course of conduct prescribed for the Kshatriya. I beg alms of you, as what vile act is there that an afflicted soul would not stoop to?" Realizing this in their heart of the heart, the wise and the generous donors accomplish in this world the prayer of suppliant. "I have no liking for wealth, nor for religious merit, nor for the sensuous enjoyment, nor again do I seek the state of perfect and the perceptual calm, birth after birth. Let me have devotion to the Shri Rama's feet. This is the only boon I ask and not else. Let Shri Rama take me for a big follow, and let the people call me an enemy of my preceptor and master. All the same, by your grace may my devotion to the feet of Sita and Shri Rama grow day by day. The cloud may neglect the chatka birds all its life, and on its asking water may discharge thunderbolt and hail, but the birds will fall in the estimations of others if it cease to call out to the cloud. It will gain in every way only by intensifying its love for the latter. Just as gold gets brighter by being put into the fire, even so the love shines by sticking to his bow of devotion to the feet of his most beloved Lord. In response to the Bharata's prayer, there came a sweet and a benedictory utterance from the midst of the Triveni. Dear Bharata, you are pious in every way, and your love for Shri Rama's feet is unbounded. In vain do you harbor depressing thoughts in your mind. There is no one so dear to the Rama as you are. A thrill ran through Bharata's body, and his soul rejoiced to hear the agreeable words of the deity presiding over Triveni. Exclaiming, "Bharata is praiseworthy, all praise to him." The god joyfully rained flowers. The inhabitants of Prayaga, the king of the sacred space, including employed, religious students, householders and recluses, were transported with joy. Same persons gathered together and said to one another, "Bharata's affection and amiability are artless and genuine." Hearing of Shri Rama's charming virtue, he came to the great Sikh Bharadwaja. The Sikh saw him falling protest before him and looked upon his as his own good luck personified. Running up and lifting him, the Sikhs clasped him to his bosom and gratified him by bestowing his blessings on him. Offered a seat by the Sikhs, he sat down with his head bent low as if he would run away and hide his face in the den of the bashfulness. He felt much perturbed at the thought that the Sikh might ask him any question. Seeing his amiability and confusion of the mind, the Sikh said to him, "Listen, Bharata, I have already heard everything, but we have no control over the doing of fate. Be not distressed at heart by the thought of what your mother has done. It is no fault of the Kaikai, dear child. It was the goddess of speech who deluded her mind. Nobody would approve of it even if I said so, for the wise recognize worldly opinion as well as the judgment of Vedas by singing your unsullied glory. However, the world and the Vedas both will exalt it. The world as well as Vedas admit it, and everyone say that king's son, he alone gets the throne on whom his father bestow it. The king who was above all truth to his vow would have called you and bestowed the kingdom on you, and this would have brought him joy, religious merit, and glory. But the root of all trouble was Rama's exile to the forest, and the whole universe was pained to hear of it. It was, however, as a fate would have it. Much as the foolish Queen Kaikeyi did wrong, she now repents for it. But he who lays the last blame for it on you is vile, ignorant, and weak. Even if you accept the sovereignty, no blame would attach to you, and even Rama would have been gratified to hear of it. But what you have done now is excellent. Your standpoint is quite justified, for devotion to Shri Rama's feet is the root of all choice blessings in the world. And that is your wealth and life, nay, your vital breath, who is then so highly blessed as you. This is, however, not to be the wondered at in your case, who are a son of the king Dashatha and beloved brother of Rama. I tell you, Bharta, there is no one held so dear in this heart by the chief of the Raghu line as you. Lakshmana, Rama, and Sita most fondly praised you the whole night. I came to know the secret only when they were bathing at Prayaga. They would feel overwhelmed with love for you. The chief of the Raghu line cherished the same love for you as a fool does for the life of ease in this world. This is, however, no great tribute to the hero of Raghu race, who cherished the whole family of the suppliant. As for yourself, Bharata, my opinion is that you are the very incarnation of love for Rama. What to your mind constitutes a slur on you is a lesson to us all. The present occasion has proved very propitious for preparing elixirs in the form of devotion of Rama. Your glory, dear child, is a new type of spotless moon, as it were, while Rama's devotees are like so many water lilies that open only in moonlight, the chakora birds that are equally fond of the moon. I shall always remain above the horizon and shall never set. Nay, I shall never wane and shall Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana, Shri Ramayana, ever wax in the heavens in this world. The chakraka birds is the shape of three world shell. Cherish great love for it, while the sun is the shape of your glory, shall never rob it or of its splendor. I shall ever delight everyone by day as well as by night, and the demon Rahu is the form of Kaikeyi doing shall never eclipse it. It is the full of nectar in the form of the idle love for Rama, and the untarnished by any stain resulting from the wrong done to the Guru. Let Rama devotee now enjoy nectar to their hearts' contents, since you have made it so easy of access even on earth. Of your forebearers, King Bhagiratha brought down the celestial river, the very thought of which is a fountain of all choice blessing. As for the Shatha virtues, they are more than one can describe in this verse. There is none as even equal to you, nor you. How then anyone can be superior to you? Won by his affection and meekness, Shri Rama himself appears on the earth. Rama, whomever Shiva always saw him with his mental eyes, but never satiated. You have created the mental eye and never satiated. You have created mental eye and never satiated. You have created the peerless moon of your glory, which bears on its the figures of the deers in the shape of love for Rama. You feel distress at heart, dear sons, for no purpose you fear poverty, even though you have found the philosopher's stone. Listen, Bharata, I tell no falsehood. I am an ascetic dwelling in the forest, and having no concern with the world. I obtain the happy and the excellent reward of all spiritual practices. When I saw Lakshmana, Rama, and Sita, the reward of that reward itself is your sight. It is the reward of the reward itself is your sight. It is great fortune for Prayaga as well as all of us, Bharata. You deserve all praise since by your glory you have conquered the whole world. As he concluded his speech, the sage was overwhelmed with love. Those who were assembled there rejoiced to hear the sage's words, while the god acclaimed Bharata and rained flowers on him. Whereas Bharata heard the shouts of applause in the heaven as well as in the Prayaga, he was overwhelmed with emotion, experiencing a thrill of joy all over his body. With the heart full of Sita and Rama and his lotus eyes wet with tears, he made obeisance to the conclave of sages and then spoke in the voice choked with emotion. Conclave means gathering. Conclave. As an assembly of the sages and he stands at the place which is known as the kings of the sacred place. Great harm will come to a man if he states even a fact on the oath as such a place. And Shri Ram. And if one tells a lie there will be no greater sin and depravity. I speak out the truth knowing as I do that you are all wise. While the Lord of Prabhu has access to the innermost recesses of one's heart, do not mind, I am not shameful for what my mother has done, nor am I troubled at heart over the thought that the world will look upon me as mean. I fear not lest I should spoil my future life, nor do I grieve over my father's death, those whose meritorious deed and fair renown shines forth throughout the universe, who had son like Lakshmana and the Shri Ram, and who quitted his frail body as a result of his separation from Shri Ram, that there is hardly any occasion for lamentation on his accounts. What pains me is that dressing themselves as a hermit, Shri Rama's Lakshmana and the Sita roam from the forest to forest without shoe on their feet, clad in deer skins, living on bare fruits, reposing on the ground overspread with kosha grass and leaves, and halting under tree. They even endure cold and sunshine, rain and storm. It is the burning agony which is ever consuming my breast, so that I feel no appetite by day and get no sleep at night. For this fell disease there is no remedy. I have mentally ransacked the whole world. My mother's evil counsel was like a sinful carpenter who used my interest as an adze and fashioned out of the inauspicious woods of the discord a destructive magical contrivances and muttering the terrible malevolent spells of the Shri Rama's exile for the fixed terms of the 14 years planted in the soil of Ayodhya. It is for my sake that she employed his infamous contrivance and brought ruin country with the use of skill of being someone about create something. Skill used to create something. And brought you to the whole world. This calamity will cease only when the Shri Rama return. By no other means can Ayodhya thrive against. The sage was gratified to hear Bharata's words, and everyone applauded him in the way more than once. Grieve not much, dear child. All your woes will disappear the moment you behold Shri Rama's feet. After comforting him thus, the chief of the sage Bharata said, "Be my beloved guest and design the accepts of the bulbs, roots, fruits, and flowers that we may offer you." On hearing the sage's words, Bharata was troubled at heart, for he was faced with a hard puzzle at a difficult time. Then, realizing the importance of what the elder says, he adored the sage's feet and replied with joint palm, "Your order must be respectfully obeyed. This is my paramount duty, my lord." Bharata's reply pleased the great sage Bharadwaja, who called his trusty servants and people by his sides. Bharata ought to be the entertained, therefore go and bring bulbs, roots, and fruit. They bowed their heads with the words, "Very well, sir," and most gladly proceeded to take charge of their respective duties. The sage unjustly thought that he had invited a distinguished guest and that a deity must be worshipped according to his or her rank. Hearing of his riches of the various kind riddhis and the supernatural power siddhis like anemia, the power of assuming atomic size appeared in the visible form and said, "We are prepared to do you bidding, O Lord." Bharata as well as his younger brother Shatrugna and the whole company orchestrated due to their separation from the Rama, entertained them and relieve them of their fatigue. The great Sikh gladly said, the riches and the supernatural power in this embodied form go to the command of the great Sikhs and deemed themselves highly favored. The Siddhis said to one another, Shri Rama's younger brother Bharata is a great guest beyond compare. Going at the Sikhs' feet, let us do that which may gratify the whole of the royal party. So saying, they created beautiful dwellings of the various patterns, which put to shame by their appearance the aerial cars of the gods. They were replete with abundant luxuries and the splendor which were coveted by mortals, equipped with necessaries of all kinds of men servants and the maid servants remained in the attendance, focusing their attentions on the pleasure of the guest. The Siddhi provided in the instance of the amenities which cannot be dreamed of even in heaven. First of all, they assigned to each of his guests quarters that were charming and comfortable and uh, suited to the taste of the occupants. Therefore, Bharta and this family were assigned quarters for which were the instructions given by the Sikhs. By dint of the peanuts, the great Sikhs prevailed wealth that astonished the creator Brahma himself. When Bharta beheld the Sikhs' power, the realm of the rulers of the spheres looked small in his eyes. The luxuries were more than one could describe. The wise would forget their desperation on seeing them. There were seats and couches, draperies, canopies, groves in the gardens, birds and the beasts of the different species, street sentence, flowers and the food tasting like ambrosia, many a lake and the ponds of the limpid water for foods and drinks of any undefined and the innocent character, which were more delicious than nectar and ambrosia, and which the guest would hesitate to accept like so many ascetics. Every house was supplied with the celestial cow and a tree of the paradise. Indra, the king of the god, and his consort Sachi grew covetous at their side. It was a wonderful season, and the cool, fragrant, and the gentle breeze was blowing. Everyone has all the four prices of life: religious merit, worldly riches, sensual enjoyment, and the final beatitude, which one easily reached at the sight of luxuries like garlands, sandal paste, and women. The guests were overcome by the mixed feeling of joy and sorrow. Joy at the unique hospitality shown by the Sikhs by dint of his yogic power, and sorrow because at a time when they should abstain from the luxuries of the various kinds, they were being offered the same. Affluence like the female Chakravaka birds and Bharta as her mate were imprisoned together that night at the cage of the hermitage by the Sikh's order, which was the Sat play, and they remained there till it was dawn. Shri Ramayana. Clause 19 for the 30 days recitation. Shri Ramayana.